In my early 20s, I landed a job at the local post office, serving a cluster of small towns nestled in the heart of the countryside. My route, though straightforward, offered glimpses into the lives of the residents, weaving tales of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Little did I know that amidst the quaint charm lay a shadowy secret waiting to be unearthed. 2 years into my tenure as a postal worker, a routine day took a chilling turn that would forever alter my perception of the idyllic surroundings. It started innocuously enough. A full mailbox on the porch of a nondescript house caught my attention. Instead of leaving the mail, I opted to leave a notice, a precaution against potential theft. The following day, as I revisited the same house, a sense of foreboding settled over me like a dark cloud. The stillness of the neighborhood seemed amplified, an ominous silence hanging heavy in the air. My footsteps echoed against the pavement, each step a reminder of the eerie tranquility. Approaching the porch, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. And then, as if on cue, a muffled scream pierced the silence, sending shivers down my spine. Instinct kicked in, and I dialed the authorities, my heart pounding with a mixture of fear and uncertainty. The arrival of the police did little to quell my unease. Despite my frantic explanation, the house remained eerily silent, its facade betraying no hint of the turmoil within. A knot formed in my stomach as I watched the officers conduct a cursory search, their expressions mirroring my own growing sense of dread. With no evidence of foul play, the police left, their reassurances doing little to assuage my gnawing anxiety. As I resumed my route, the memory of the scream lingered, a haunting echo in the recesses of my mind. Days passed, yet the incident remained etched in my memory, a persistent reminder of the darkness lurking beneath the surface of the seemingly tranquil town. And then, fate intervened, thrusting me once again into the heart of the mystery. Returning to the same house, I found myself gripped by an inexplicable sense of trepidation. Each step towards the porch felt like a journey into the unknown, the weight of uncertainty bearing down on me with every passing moment. As I approached, a movement caught my eye, a curtain twitching in the window, a silent sentinel bearing witness to the unfolding drama. My pulse quickened, a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins as I braced myself for what lay ahead. Peering through the window, I glimpsed a figure, obscured in the shadows, their presence a silent testament to the secrets hidden within. Frozen in place, I struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation, the reality of the danger looming ominously before me. A sudden noise shattered the silence, jolting me back to reality. Startled, I turned, only to find myself face to face with the unknown. Clad in a white tank top stained with what appeared to be blood, the figure stood before me, an enigma cloaked in darkness. In that moment, instinct took over, propelling me into action as I fled from the scene, my heart racing with the intensity of 1,000 thunderstorms. With each step, the distance between myself and the unknown grew, yet the memory of that chilling encounter lingered, a specter haunting my every waking moment. In the aftermath of the ordeal, I sought solace in the familiar routine of my daily life, yet the memory of the scream and the figure in the window refused to fade. It was only through the passage of time that the wounds began to heal, the scars of that fateful day serving as a constant reminder of the fragility of life. And so, as I continued along my chosen path, I carried with me the lessons learned from that harrowing experience, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. For in the darkest of moments, it is often our inner strength that guides us through the shadows, illuminating the path to a brighter tomorrow. As a 13-year-old, one of the highlights of my day was the after-dinner walk with Dash, my loyal canine companion. The routine was always the same. Dash, Matt, Alex, and I would venture out, exploring the nooks and crannies of our small town. Whether it was a leisurely stroll or an energetic game of football, our evenings were filled with laughter and camaraderie. However, there was one particular adventure that etched itself into our memories, forever altering our perception of the familiar landscape. It was a crisp autumn evening when Alex came bounding up to me, breathless with excitement. He informed me that Matt had already headed to the creek and we were to meet him there. Dash, sensing the impending adventure, wagged his tail eagerly. We set off down the familiar path, the cool breeze rustling the leaves overhead. Our usual route took us through a vast cornfield owned by the town. Cutting through it was a shortcut to the creek, and we had never encountered any issues before. But little did we know that this evening would be different, that it would be the catalyst for a chilling experience none of us could have imagined. As we approached the edge of the field, Dash hesitated, his instincts alerting him to something amiss. Ignoring his hesitation, Alex forged ahead, disappearing into the sea of cornstalks. Concerned for my friend's safety, Dash and I followed suit, the dense foliage enveloping us in an eerie silence. It didn't take long for a sense of unease to settle over us like a heavy shroud. The once familiar surroundings now seemed cloaked in shadows, the rustling of the corn sounding like whispers from another realm. Dash, usually fearless, kept pausing, his senses attuned to some unseen danger lurking in the darkness. Despite our growing apprehension, we pressed on, determined to reunite with Matt and continue our adventure. But fate had other plans. A low growl emanated from Dash, sending a shiver down my spine. It was a sound I had never heard from him before, a primal warning of imminent danger. Before we could react, the cornfield came alive with movement, the rustling stalks signaling the approach of an unseen presence. Panic surged through me as I called out for Matt, the desperation in my voice echoing through the night. But there was no response, only the relentless advance of whatever lurked in the shadows. With each passing moment, the feeling of dread intensified, suffocating us in its icy grip. Dash, sensing the urgency of the situation, pulled away from me, his instinctual drive to protect overpowering my feeble attempts to restrain him. In that heart-stopping moment, time seemed to stand still. The air crackled with tension as we stood on the precipice of the unknown, our fate hanging in the balance. Then, like a beacon of hope cutting through the darkness, Alex's voice pierced the silence, calling out to us from the depths of the cornfield. With renewed determination, we followed the sound, our footsteps quickening with each passing second. Finally, we burst through the thicket of cornstalks, our hearts pounding in our chests as we stumbled into the open. Relief washed over us as we reunited with Alex, our ragtag trio standing together against the encroaching darkness. But our ordeal was far from over. As we made our way back home, the events of that fateful evening lingered in our minds, casting a shadow over our once carefree existence. In the days that followed, we tried to make sense of what had transpired in the cornfield, but the answers remained elusive. Rumors swirled through the town, whispers of strange occurrences and unexplained disappearances haunting the once tranquil streets. As for Dash, he returned home with a newfound sense of vigilance, his loyalty unwavering despite the horrors we had faced together. And though the memory of that night would forever linger in the recesses of our minds, it also served as a testament to the unbreakable bond forged in the crucible of adversity. So, as we ventured out on our nightly walks, Dash by our side, we did so with a newfound appreciation for the fragile balance between light and darkness, knowing that sometimes the greatest adventures lie in the shadows. Living in a quaint small town had its perks, but contracting opportunities were scarce. So when my company was approached to demo the interiors of not one, but two houses in town, it felt like a golden opportunity. Being a local, the prospect excited me even more since it meant no commute, just a short walk down the road. Plus, it gave me the chance to explore neighboring houses and compare them to mine. The job started with enthusiasm, but soon turned into a nightmare. On our first day at the site, my boss and I did a walkthrough to plan our workflow. As we moved from the first floor to the second, my boss abruptly halted, his ears perked as if he heard something. I strained, but all I heard was silence. However, my boss's unease lingered, making our exit hurried. The next day, my co-workers and I were assigned to work on the first house while our boss and others tackled the second. Stepping into the house, a strange heaviness filled the air, making it hard to breathe. Ignoring the discomfort, I dove into work, taking breaks outside to catch my breath. During lunch, the feeling of dread intensified, and I confided in a co-worker who shared my unease. We returned to find a strange thud from above, unsettling us further. With trepidation, I volunteered to investigate, armed with a sledgehammer. Ascending the creaky stairs, each step echoed with uncertainty. In the room directly above, nothing seemed amiss except for paint flakes and a dent on the wall. As I inspected closer, a chilling sensation ran down my spine. Ignoring it, we decided to demolish the wall, hoping to dispel the eerie atmosphere. With each swing, the air grew heavier until a shard of something unfamiliar fell to the ground. My co-worker's scream shattered the silence, his trembling finger pointing at the wall. What lay beyond sent us fleeing from the house, hearts racing. We alerted our boss and the authorities, who discovered a gruesome truth hidden within the walls. The remains of 5 individuals, victims of a heinous crime long forgotten. Their restless spirits had haunted the house, their presence growing stronger as we unearthed their secret. The town buzzed with speculation as the news spread, shattering the illusion of tranquility. The once charming neighborhood now held a sinister undercurrent, reminding us that darkness lurks even in the most unsuspecting places. And as we completed the demolition, we couldn't shake the feeling that the past still whispered its secrets, waiting to be uncovered.